Make your 4th of July sparkle with a little help from your friendly neighborhood Randalls. You'll find great deals on grilling favorites and more. Everything you need to make any summer gathering festive. For a delicious cookout, shop with your Remarkable card and pick up 80% lean ground beef in the value pack for just $1.99 a pound. Limit 4 packages. And get a sweet deal on fresh strawberries, blueberries, or raspberries, 2 for $3. Tastier meats, sweeter produce, better celebrations. Randalls. Proudly serving Texas families since 1966.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to ITNS Radio in the Neon Spotlight. I am your host, Sam Watkins, and today we have a very special guest. I'm very proud to have on the show with me Brad Howard, who's going to be joining us very shortly, and bringing us, yes, I would normally say it's not your daddy's country music, but in this case, it is, and I am so glad to hear it because, honestly, I am so tired of all that pop country crap. All right, well, let's get him on the show right now. Here's Brad Howard. How you doing, Brad?
How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing just fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm glad that you was able to get me on the show. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, well, we're looking forward to it as well. Tell us a little bit about yourself to start off with.
Well, I'm from North Carolina, in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Started out singing in church. 5 or 6 year old, and country music was always my main passion. So I started listening to a lot of the old artists like Don Williams and Vern Gosdin, George Strait, George Jones, Merle Haggard, and all that stuff, Hank Williams, and I just fell in love with country music, and it just to me it reaches the soul, and that's what I love about country.
Very true. Truer words were never spoken. Or probably were, but we're hearing it today from you, so that doesn't even matter. Okay. Well, tell me now. You started out in church. How long have you been singing?
Since probably 5 year old. I can't really remember the exact age, but as far back as I can remember, I was singing. And later on, I started picking up the guitar, learning to play, and started writing. But I think gospel music really helped me in my music career because it, when you sing gospel, you put a lot of feeling into it, and I think it's helped me a lot with my country singing because I think that when you do something as great as music, you've got to put your heart into it, and I think people can feel that when you put your heart in your music.
Now, you are actually determined to keep traditional country music alive, and you are described by hit songwriter Mary Frances as having an old country sound with a new feel to it. How do you feel about that?
That's heartwarming coming from her. She's a hit songwriter that's wrote hits for Highway 101, and I got a chance to write with her, and when she first heard me, she was telling me that that I reminded her of a younger version of, Hank Williams Sr., and that was a big compliment. So we hit it off as far as our co-writing goes, and I was very grateful that she was able to take the time to write with me.
Yeah, that's a huge compliment, actually. Hank Sr., pretty big player in that time frame. And especially with the music that he did, I mean, he influenced a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Now your band, what is your band kind of consist of?
Well, it's a country heart band, and our core guys basically is lead guitar, bass, drums, and I do the lead vocals and acoustic guitar. And we have another person that plays fiddle on some of our shows, and sometimes we have a steel guitar based on what show based on the availability of the musicians and stuff. But the core musicians basically is lead guitar, bass, and drums, and then we have either a fiddle or steel guitar.
Awesome. You can't have country without a fiddle and a steel guitar. Yeah, you can't have it. It just can't be. Now, what are some of your latest projects that you're working on right now?
Well, of course, my latest album is Deeper Than the Heart, and process of working on putting together a group of songs to go back into the studio in the fall and do some new material that I've written, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to basically, of course, I'm going to keep it country, but it's going to have some really good original stuff on it that I'm proud of that I've written with some other people, and a few of the songs on there will be songs I've written by myself. But this latest album, Deeper Than the Heart, I've really been getting a good reception, especially out in Texas. One of my songs, got nominated for Song of the Year out there at the American Western Awards, and I'll Let the Bottle Kill Me is the name of the song, and I think it's still getting played out there in places like Fort Worth and that area out there. So I'm really happy for that.
Yeah, that's a beautiful song, actually. I got a chance to play that recently on our VIP section on ITNS Radio 24/7 Live, and it's a really good song.
Thank you.
My personal favorite though is Goodbye Hurtin' Songs, which I think I don't think anybody's quite embraced that particular way of doing songs in quite some time. I think you really hit the nail on the head with that one. So we're actually going to play that one first. Can you tell me a little bit of your inspiration behind that song?
Well, I actually wrote that song when I was living in Georgia before I moved to Nashville. I was just, sitting around the house and thinking about all my heroes that I grew up listening to, and I thought, I need to write a song about it because it kind of portrays who I am and what I believe in. And when I started writing it, of course, the lines just started coming to me, and it was just one of those songs that was really easy for me to write because I think because I was feeling it so much and just thinking about guys like, the names that I mentioned in the song, like Vern Gosdin and Hank Williams and those guys. But I really enjoy it. That's probably of all the songs I go out and perform live, it's probably my favorite one to do live because I think people really do feel what I'm feeling on that. There's a lot of people out there that understand, the old country, that kind of music is still people, people still want that. So.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm definitely one of them. I'm a huge traditional country fan myself. George Strait is my hero. So
yes.
As a matter of fact, I noticed you mentioned that one of his albums, "You're Something Special," was actually kind of an influence on you.
Oh yeah, it was a big influence. When I was 5 or 6, I might have been a little bit older than 5 or 6. I don't remember the exact year, but I was probably a little older than that. But I got a cassette tape of Something Special by it was a Christmas gift, and of course, when I listened to it, I fell in love with the album, and I played it so much, of course, where the cassette starts dragging. So it's how much I love the album. The songs like Something Special and The Chair was on that album, and there's a song on there called Lefty's Gone that it was written in honor of Lefty Frizzell. It was just a really great album.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite songs on that album was Dance Time in Texas, but because I'm kind of a Western swing fanatic myself.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. And this is some really good stuff we're going to hear right now too. We're going to take a quick break here with Brad Howard on ITNS Radio. This is Goodbye Hurtin' Songs. We'll be right back.
Well, I miss them old time drinking, cheating, goodbye hurting songs. Well, they had a way to pull me through those empty nights alone. Well, they mixed right in with memories, bar stools and Patron. What happened to those drinking, cheating, goodbye hurting songs? There's old Conway, he always made me feel the pain so good. A dose of Jones had been known to hurt me like it should. Well, Keith and Vern made me yearn for a bottle of neon lights. And then there's Hank, the master breaker, he tore me up inside. Well, I miss them old time drinking, cheating, goodbye hurting songs. Well, they had a way to pull me through those empty nights alone. Well, they mixed right in with memories, bar stools and Patron. What happened to those drinking, cheating, well, goodbye hurting songs? Well, I know it sounds like I'm proud to waller in my blues. Well, it's all I know. I'm hooked on all those songs my daddy knew. Well, walking the floor was perfect for a jukebox in the dark. Well, just one note was all she wrote, well, for my broken heart. Well, I miss them old time drinking, cheating, goodbye hurting songs. Well, they had a way to pull me through those empty nights alone. Well, they mixed right in with memories, bar stools and Patron. What happened to those drinking, cheating, goodbye hurting songs? Yeah, what happened to those drinking, cheating, goodbye hurting songs?
Now there's a song that just makes you want to get up and dance. It's Goodbye Hurting Songs by Brad Howard. And we're back now with Brad Howard in the studio. Now, Brad, tell me, excuse me. And also want to let you know, congratulations for that nomination too for All Let the Bottle Kill Me. I think we'll do that song next, actually. But I wanted to ask you, let's see, what can you describe your show visually and musically? Or
well, it's basically a stone cold country type show. You know, you're gonna hear some originals from that stuff that I do,
mm-hmm.
and then of course you'll hear some stuff like Vern Gosdin and George Strait and that kind of stuff. And we do add in sometimes, once in a while we do add in some like some old Carl Perkins stuff, like 50s and 60s rock and roll, like Jerry Lee Lewis, and we'll add in a few things like that just to get people up on the dance floor to dance and stuff. But we stick mostly with we stick mostly with the traditional country because that's who we are, but we do venture out a little bit and do some stuff like, like I said, like Carl Perkins and some old 50s and 60s rock and roll, like Shake, Rattle, and Roll and Blue Suede Shoes.
Wow.
But we like the old country. It's just, when you go out here and play at a lot of these venues, it's really hard